Hey, it's Ben. Welcome back to my channel. Ecclesiastes 7:18 says, "It is good to grasp the one thing and not let go of the other. Whoever fears God will avoid the extremes." We all have our natural bent, the way that God made us. And a lot of times that can express in political opinions, or focusing on whether we're more of a graceful person or whether we push people to excel at works. But these are how God made us. And I want to look at a few things in light of what it says in Ecclesiastes 7:18.
And I brought you all my dreams 'cause I love you.
The Bible says that Jesus came in grace and in truth. And I think for most of us, we can identify with one of those more strongly than the other. Maybe you identify more with grace, and you go to the kind of church that more identifies with grace. And the problem with that is, unless you're really dealing with the truth aspect, people aren't going to grow spiritually, or they're going to think they're just fine the way they are, and they don't have to move and do anything. And the opposite is the same on the truth side of the spectrum. Maybe you go to a church where people are more obsessed with rules and regulations than they are with a relationship. Or maybe in your own life, you really want to push yourself and others to set up more of a rigid framework for life. And really, in either case, it just takes grasping the one without losing hold of the other. Another thing that I think we need to balance is something that Stephen Covey talks about in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He talks about keeping P and PC in balance. P stands for production. PC stands for production capability. It's true, we all need to work hard in the moment. Production, to do things right now that produce, whether it be for our family, for our job, for our church, for our community. While at the same time, we need to be remembering that we're going to need to be producing in the future, and that's the PC, production capability. Now, if we spend all our time working on production capability, maybe we're an eternal student and we never actually produce anything, that can be just as bad. And if we're too strong in the production capability side, we need to learn to actually produce now or live in the moment. In Costa Rica, they call it Pura Vida. Recently, I heard a podcast from Diary of a CEO, and his guest brought up a study by someone named Dashan Wong, and they were talking about the explore-exploit paradigm. And to quickly explain, explore means that you're going around looking for what your future could hold, looking for new opportunities. And exploit means that once you've found the opportunity, that you're going to exploit it. You're going to make the most of that opportunity. Well, in this study, they found that the people who exploit well and take the best advantage of the opportunities that they have will go through what's called a hot streak. But those hot streaks don't last forever. We can't exploit an opportunity forever. Eventually, we need to go out and find another opportunity, and that's another period of exploring. Many churches and other organizations get this right when they force or ask their pastors or executives to take sabbaticals from time to time and really go out and look around and see what is God saying to you in the case of a pastor or missionary, or what are you sensing? What opportunities are you finding in the case of an executive? But in both cases, you'll get the same result. It's more explore, 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 so that they can exploit and go on another hot streak. So the last thing I'd like to bring up is loving and accepting others on the one side and pushing people for more on the other. This is just a little theory that I'm toying with. I think that everyone either falls on one side or the other. They really want to hold people's feet to the fire, those types of folks, or the people that want to love and accept them for who they are. And I think a lot of times in families, it's easy to want to love and accept your children or your spouse, but too much loving them and accepting them will never cause them to grow, will never cause them to get out into the world and do anything. So we need to hold their feet to the fire. We need to ask them important questions. We need to tell them what we think when they make mistakes, but we need to do it in a loving and graceful way. And that's where I think it's good to grasp one thing without letting go of the other. In all of these things that I've mentioned today, I want to encourage you that the relationship is the most important part. Your work relationships, your church relationships, your relationships with family and friends. We all want to grow, and we want the people around us to grow. And so remember what it says in Ecclesiastes 7:18, that we should hold to one thing without letting go of the other. And that's great advice for us. And it ends with, whoever fears God will avoid the extremes. Thank you for watching my video. I want to invite you to consider being part of what I'm doing on this YouTube channel. There are 3 ways you can get involved. The first way, subscribe to my channel. The second way, Like this video, share it with your friends. The third way, consider being a financial partner with me. On the About page of my YouTube channel, there's a link to my PayPal account. Consider a one-time gift or becoming a monthly supporter. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.